Okay, so we just did our tortilla and toast. Welcome to Rejuventangle Day. And this is our first session, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We've got different time zones from all over the country. If you're, you can put where you're calling from in next to your name or in the chat. But let's start with a nice deep breath in and out. Get centered. We're not going to do a very long meditation because this is a meditation session. So let's just get centered. I invite you to close your eyes if you want to, or just pick a gaze and look someplace, either down or up. I have a nice view here. I might look outside to my tree that's in front of me, or I might just look down. And we're just going to take a deep breath in and out. And just sit quietly for a moment, emptying out our minds, getting comfortable in our chair, and just focusing on being peaceful and in the present moment, letting everything go, breathing. Let your body relax fully, your mind relax. Empty out your mind. And if you have your eyes closed, keep them closed for a moment. Stay in your quiet. And I want to just remind you that today we're doing traditional Zentangle, which is a mindful drawing. We relax, we let go of the outcome, and we draw slow. We stay in the present moment. We release all expectations and appreciate what we create. And most of all, we have lots of fun. So you can open your eyes, and on the back of your tile or scrapbook or paper, whatever you're using today, let's put our name, today's date. You could put the patterns down. I usually don't, I usually like to surprise people, but I put them down here. So I put my name, I just put my CZT for you guys to know, because you might want to know whose class you took today. So you could put my name down as the CZT or teacher. Today's date, Happy New Year, January 2nd. And then I put Rejuventangle Day, Zoom, first session, 8 a.m. But just put whatever is going to remind you when you pick up this tile or sketchbook, whatever you're using, a year from now, and you look it up, you can say, where was that? Who taught that? Okay. And then the two patterns we're doing today is, well, is Q-Belle by Yuru, Chen, and I will repeat that when we do it. But if you wanted to put that on your tile now, and Gneiss by Zentangle Headquarters or Gneiss, I think it's pronounced. And that's going to be our string today. So you'll see. So just take your time, write that down on the back, pen or pencil, doesn't matter. When you're done, take a moment and feel the paper that you're using today. If you're using a paper tile like me, maybe feel the edges, the paper, look at it, put it down. Okay, so we're going to start now. Pick up your pencil, and let's start with the traditional Zentangle. Using the side of the tip of your pencil, just put a little dot in each corner, breathing in and out with each dot. And when you're ready, connect those dots with a border. I like to use the side of the tip of the pencil because it will blend later better. Turning your tile, noticing how the pencil feels in your hand, not caring how the pencil goes down, just let the pencil do what it wants. I'm just focusing on drawing a line to each dot, not worrying about what it looks like, relaxing, breathing. Doesn't matter how much space there is. Letting go of what it looks like throughout our whole day today, because at the end, it's always going to look different anyways. Zentangle is about being in the present moment, letting go of what it looks like. So when you're done with that, I'm going to go ahead and pick up my pen. Now, some people like to use their pencil and trace over it with the pen. You can do that if you like. I'm going straight for the pen because I don't like to erase. So we're going to start by drawing the pattern Gneiss as a string. And I'm going to walk you through it. Looks a little bit like this. I did this one in pencil. And I'm going to start with a dot in the middle. Not exact, nothing's exact. I'm just using it as a guideline. And actually, yeah, that's okay. So I'm going to now pick a point. I'm going to draw an arc line. Just watch me for a second. And I'm doing it off center. So I'm going almost towards the top line here, but about a half an inch or 3/4 of an inch in. The way I figured it is, let's say there's a middle point, maybe halfway between the middle point and the corner. Not exact, just a ballpark to give you an idea, because I want to try to make these kind of even. It's just an arc line from the center. And then I'm going to turn my tile, and now I'm going to draw this kind of towards that line. Doesn't really matter where, but I'm going to shoot for kind of the center of that particular line. Each one's going to be a little different. And then as I turn it, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to kind of mirror it down here around the same. So I'm going to turn my tile, draw that arc line, shooting towards that line there, coming in about half an inch or so. Again, imagining there's a middle point, like halfway between the middle and the end. Not a big deal, just giving you ballpark. Some of you may have done this a million times and it's fine. So now if you think, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to draw a curved line to kind of the side there. Same kind of a distance. And then I'm going to shoot for the middle of this line when I turn my tile. The whole idea is we want to get 6 curved lines. And I'm being particular because I want them kind of fairly the same distance, but it really doesn't matter. And then this one here, I'm going to do the same thing, kind of like where this is. So just drawing a line towards that. We're all going to do this differently, doesn't matter. And if you came up with 7 or 8 lines, that's okay. So the whole idea is just drawing 6 arced lines around. And now we're going to take each section and do the same thing. So for this, I'm going to pick this section first, pick the 2 edges, be a curved line, kind of shoot kind of towards the middle and have them meet. Just do one with me now. And I'll do it again here so you can see. So you take 2 edges, curve that in towards the middle and have them meet. But once you do that, you then want to take that point and draw a line, straight or curved, right to that center. Nice and slow and relaxed, breathing in and out. And if at any time you don't get something, so what? Do whatever feels good to you. Everything's a suggestion, doesn't matter. We let go of the outcome. The whole idea is to draw slow and relax. Whatever you create, you're meant to create. So in each section, just drawing a line in from either side, and then that point to the center. Just nice and slow. Breathing in and out. Relaxing that grip. Relaxing your shoulders. Everyone's going to look different. Hope if yours looks nothing like this, that's great. And once you're done with that, I'm going to ask you to put down your pen and pick up your pencil. And this is one of the reasons we did our tortillon toast first. We're going to do a little bit of shading before we start to actually do some more tangling. So a little bit different. I think it's great to start the new year off a little bit differently, gets our mind a little bit more creative, makes life a little bit more exciting. So what you want to do is now the left side of each one of these petals, right? This is like a petal where we have this point curve. You've got this line down the middle. On the left of each one of these sections, we're just going to put a little shading. And I use the side of the tip of the pencil. And we're going to put some shading on either edge of that section. And just don't even blend yet. Just going to put a little bit of graphite in each one. And then you're going to skip. And then you're going to turn your petal and do it again. So you're really just like kind of skipping every other section. Putting some graphite down on either end. And now slow it down and pay attention to the sound that the pencil makes on the paper, how it feels. And when you're ready, we will start to blend that. We might blend it a little bit more, but let's get this blending done. We are going to be tangling in the white sections in a little while. So now we're just going to take our tortillon and we're going to just blend it in. We want to make sure there's a white highlight in the middle, but you can just start blending towards the edges and then start to push it up a little bit, making sure you've got that white center highlight. Doing the same on every one of these shaded areas. You can go little circular motions back and forth, whatever feels nice to you. I notice I'm turning my tile each time so I can kind of stay in the same position. Just be comfortable. Make sure you take a sip of your coffee or tea or Diet Coke, whatever you're drinking. And at any time during our time together, during this session or any other session today, I invite you to just relax. If you're done before the instructor moves on to the next step, I suggest to just sit quietly and relax, enjoy the being in the present moment. You can draw something else during that time. You can gaze out the window. You can close your eyes. Think of today as a meditation if you'd like. Okay, so let's move on to the pattern. So I'm put down my pencil. You could always go back and do more shading later. Sometimes what I might do later is come up even a little bit higher, blend it a little bit more, but we can do that later. So now I'm going to pick up my pen, and I'm using an O1, but you can use whatever you'd like. And we're going to do the pattern Q-Belle by Yuru Chen. And it will be in the recording and email that I send all of you. I'll have that written down. So here's what we're going to do. In each one of the white sections, you'll divide it in half, you're going to draw kind of this S shape. It's just a wavy shape, doesn't matter how it looks. And you can either start in the corner or off to the side, doesn't matter. The whole idea is to kind of just skip this wavy line down the middle, doesn't have to be perfectly in the middle. And stay there with the one. And now on one half, we're going to draw this arc shape. And I'm shooting for the middle of this section, not over here. And it, again, not exactly. And then we're going to do the arc shape on the other side, different direction. And now we're going to aura each arc. And just watch me for a second, so I'll show you. I'll go a little bit faster so you can see. So we're auraing them on each section so that there are lines, auras, on half of each one of these petals, if you will. So this part stays white. Actually, for now, we're going to do something fun in there. And you all have the option to do whatever you want, of course. So this is what we're going to do in each section. I'm going to turn my tile, and we're going to draw that kind of a wavy line, S shape, any way you'd like, dividing this in half. Not equally in half, as you can see. Doesn't matter. Then we draw an arc line on one side, and then going in the other direction on the other side. And we're going to aura each one. Doesn't matter how big of an aura. Turn your tile. Focus on each stroke, nice and slow. Let's slow it down. Each stroke is on purpose, giving each stroke our undivided attention. The slower we draw, the calmer our minds will be. Breathe in and out. And at any time, if you feel like drawing something different, you're always free to do that. I always say, never shut out your inner artist. If you have a desire to draw something other than what I'm suggesting, that is your inner artist trying to come through. Always allow your inner artist to come through. I invite you to draw a little bit slower now. How slow can you draw? Breathing. So what I like to do, this is what I'm going to suggest. Um, Actually, I'm going to show you two things. One is in the white part here, one of the things that Yuru Chen does is draw this line up like a curved line, almost like you're oraing, and then you draw this little spiral shape. Now you can do whatever you want in here, but that's what I'm going to do in all of these white spaces. And what I'm also going to show you in these aura sections, I'm actually going to color them in with a highlight. Now you can use a thicker pen here. If you want to do this, you can put in orbs instead. You can have them solid without the highlight, or you can leave them as is. So you can do whatever you want. Now, the goal is never to finish. So you can always continue working on this throughout the day, the weekend, if you don't finish it within our short time together. And then you might want to kind of darken these little spirals, give it a little weight. Now I'm going to show you a few different things I did while I was experimenting with this pattern. So if you wanted to do a little something a little different, or if you decide to do this design again, you could see I kind of fooled around with different patterns going into that section. One of the ones I really liked was this one with the little orbs, little poser type of pattern in the middle. So there's lots of different things you could do. Oh, let me show you. This is another one I did with just the 3Y hemp or the new Bucky headquarters pattern, but I've called it 3Y hemp for many years. Here's the one with Gneiss in between. And then if you do it on a Zentangle with more sections, you can do something like that. Lots of fun. So I'm going to be quiet now for a few minutes and just have fun filling in these sections any way you like. And in a few minutes, we'll come together and share, but we've got plenty of time for that. And if if you have a question, the answer is it doesn't matter. Whatever feels right to you. So this session goes to 8:45, and we will have time in a few minutes to come together and share, and we are going to do a little bit more shading. But right now, we still have time to tangle and focus on this pattern. Oh, look what I did. I did an oopsie. Opportunity for other possibilities. I started color in the next, rather than skipping I was thinking about, I was thinking about Rachel's class, because hers is next, and that's what I did. So, looks kind of cool. We'll leave it as is. Nobody cares, nobody will notice, and maybe it added something really cool. I just want to mention that if you are taking other classes today, which I'm sure most of you are, every teacher is different. This one was meant to be meditative. All of them will not be like this. All teachers can teach any way they like, and some might be more social than others. Some might be more meditative than others. And today's just to help you just go with the flow with whatever you experience today, letting go of the outcome, letting go of expectations, and just being in the present moment and appreciating whatever we experience. Some of you might be like, I can't stand the quiet right now. I wish we were talking and chatting. Or I wish Jackie would stop talking so I could be quiet. It's all good. So I'm going to show you the other shading, and then I'm gonna, I don't know if how everyone's doing, but I'm probably gonna finish this later because this session is a lot shorter than all the others. And I'm just gonna show you the shading that I'm gonna do for the rest of this. So I'm gonna find one that's done. So I'm gonna put a little graphite on either side of the white sections and then along the edge here. Maybe I'll start with one side and then blend that in and have that highlight. So kind of getting those edges of these petals we just tangled to kind of give it that 3D effect. And I can take what I can do is grab some graphite from the petal next to it that we did earlier and just use the dirty tortillon to kind of bring that over if you don't want to use your pencil. And sometimes I do that, which I'm sure many of you do as well, before I decide to add any more graphics. Like here, I could just bring it over. I can just bring that over. Some of you may not like to do it that way. That's okay. And a little pencil. Just the edges of the petals, little graphite. And then I'm going to go back, like I said earlier, and maybe bring up the shading in those petals that we did, bringing that highlight a little closer together. And then when we're done, we'll do our chop or our signature. There is one thing else I wanted to show you about the border. So we did draw a border, and I like to, you can either erase it, which is fine, but what I like to do is I'm just going to trace over the pencil, and then I'm going to like draw a line, and then I'm going to draw maybe a little dot there, and then continue drawing, and then another dot. I just saw this somewhere. I think it was Jessica Davies that I saw this. I wanted to give her credit. I copied this pattern for a border. And if it's somebody else, correct me if I'm wrong when we are unmuted, or put it in the chat. So that's all I'm doing. You can put any border you want here, or you can leave it alone. That's all I'm doing. Coming around. Possibilities are endless. Okay. Oh. So I'm going to stop the recording, and then everyone's going to come together and we're going to share what we did. We'll do a screenshot like a mosaic and share. So thank you those who are watching, and I hope the recording worked. Happy New Year!